racing driver that's ever lived, as far as I'm concerned. It is a massive honour and a privilege. Look at the room. I can't believe how many people there are. I wish we had an elevated stage, I really do. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's give it up for the one and only Sir Stirling Moss! Just pinch me. It really is happening. Again, I can't believe it. So Stirling, it's such a great honour to have you here at the Classic Motor Show at the NEC. And look what you do to the place. Do you still have this effect? Nice and close.
I'm very flattered, thank you very much. I felt stupid if only 2 or 3 people turned up, wouldn't
We'll just wait for this tannoy. That's annoying, isn't it? A tannoy announcement right at this moment. So, I don't know where to start really, Sir Stirling. This is, you've had one of the most illustrious motor racing careers of anyone on the planet. You started racing at the age of 18. And that was in that little Cooper 500. Can you remember those days well?
Oh yeah, of course I can. I mean, I'm lucky enough, I drove, what, 108 different cars in about 600 races. And just a friend of mine down there.
That's Barry Wizzo Williams down there, ladies and gentlemen. Another legend of the motor racing world. Sorry, Sir Stirling. You started racing.
I was just saying that I drove 108 different cars in something like 600 races all around the world, because in those days it wasn't just Formula One. I mean, Formula One was important, of course, the most important, but also there were sports cars and touring cars and so on. So I had a much fuller life doing it. It was terrific. I mean, I was doing 52 a year, so you know, fairly busy.
Fairly busy. You're still busy today.
I am, yeah, and I'm enjoying it very much.
Oh, well, good for you. Yeah. Good for you. You're looking so well, and I think everyone's so pleased to see you looking so well. Now, I had a moment earlier on this year. Me and my big tall mechanic colleague, we restored a Lamborghini Urraco, and we took part in a celebration of Lamborghini where we drove on the Mille Miglia all the way to Bologna.
Oh, really?
And as to get inspiration for that, I read Jenks's book.
Oh, that's terrific.
It's a terrific book, and it was about being your co-driver. What do you remember from that Mille Miglia all those years ago?
Quite a lot, actually, because I mean, Jenks, for those of you who don't know, the Mille Miglia is 1,000 miles on semi-closed roads around Italy. I say semi-closed because obviously certain refrigerated trucks and things like that would not, but because the Italians are so keen, people kept off the roads. They weren't, you can't close 1,000 miles, it's not feasible. And but you've got people lining the circuit, and went over three mountain passes: the Futa, Radicofani, and the Reticosa. And you went from the top of Italy at Brescia down to the bottom, across, and then all the way back up over those 3 mountains. And interesting, because the first car went at 9 o'clock at night, and in the half-minute intervals it went until midnight, and then from midnight you went until the last number. I was 722, and I was not the last car, so if you add those all up, you'll find there are 500 or 600 cars. And you know, there aren't that many people. I mean, you've got your Italian hairdressers who go fast to tape on their car, you know, and all that sort of thing. But it's a remarkable event. I mean, it couldn't happen now, and in those days it could only happen in Italy, because Italy is a sort of home, you know, of motor racing.
Now, you were 23, is that correct at the time?
25, I think.
25 years of age.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of get yourself in this time period. 25 years of age, driving a Mercedes that was
300 SLR.
300 SLR that had incredible amount of horsepower. It's an open cockpit car.
Yeah.
Literally, you had clothes on, not real proper racing overalls. Leather helmet.
No, I don't know. Actually, my father made me have a hard top. It was a helmet made actually for polo. And so, you know, if you hit
helmet made for polo.
You know, if you hit your head hard, it would make a hell of a bruise, I'll tell you. But to me, the interesting thing was I managed to average 98.96 miles an hour over that distance, and It's extraordinary when you think we were going on the road at speeds of 180 miles an hour.
And that's what I was going to get to. I drove some of this route earlier this year with that Lamborghini, and I want you to just put yourself in this time period. This is when we didn't have safety controls and traction control and ABS braking. So Stirling is driving a car with an open cockpit, 180 miles an hour, 10 hours. He did it in just under 10 hours, 98.7 miles an hour. I've been on these roads. There's hairpins, there's villages, there's little towns to go through. It is just the most incredible feat ever. I can't believe that you did. When we was driving the route at 40 miles an hour, I was terrified. It must have been.
The trouble is, of course, 1,000 miles, there's no way you're going to learn it. I think there may have been Italian drivers who know quite a bit about it, people like Taruffi, but we couldn't. And so what we decided to do, or at least the idea was from John Fitch, I think, was we made notes on 27 metres, I think it was, or thereabouts, with a roller map.
Roller map.
Yeah, and Jenks, who was 3 times world champion in a motorcycle, came as my passenger, which was terrific because, you know, funnily enough, there are people who would go along even if they didn't know anything about it. But I had to have somebody who wouldn't be frightened or scared. And Jenks, of course, I mean, poor chap, he's looking down, reading off our notes. And of course, every now and again, because of the brake fumes coming back and so on, he would throw up. Well, luckily, he threw up the other way rather than my direction. But these are the things. I mean, I remember saying to Jenks, I don't know about you, but it's going to take. We thought 12 hours, and I've got to have a pee. I mean, there's no way I can't go for 12 hours without relieving myself. So we went on practice, and we stopped the car, jumped out, had our flyers undone, tried it, and of course it took much too long. So I said, well, I don't know what we're going to do. So I said, all right, look, we'll do it when we get to Rome, which was halfway. And of course we come into Rome and we didn't realise where the control was. There were 75,000 grandstand seats. And, you know, and I'm wanting to really have a slash, you know. and so anyway, ran round underneath the stands, had a quick pee and came back, and it took actually 1 minute 4 seconds. That's how long we were stopped for. That was for 4 tires and you know, clean up and checking the oil and everything else.
I never thought I'd be sitting on the stage talking about a pee break, a pee pit stop with the Stirling Moss. And there was a great bit in Jenks's book that he said, and this is lovely for me. It made the hair on the back of my neck stand on end when I read it. 8 hours into a million, Jenks had thrown up in his helmet 3 or 4 times. He was sick, he was covered in oil, he was breathing fumes in. He said he was absolutely exhausted. He was physically at the point of collapsing. And he, 8 hours in, he looked across at Sir Stirling, and Sir Stirling looked at him and went, "There's a really good bit coming up now," and rubbed his hands together. And I just think that's quite epic that you've done that all those years ago.
Well, yeah, just when you think of how, well, 60 years now.
60 years ago.
I mean, that's quite good. Mind you, we did have certainly the best car by a long way. I mean, the Mercedes 300 SLR is probably the greatest sports car ever built. I mean, it was fantastic. We did not have the air brake, and we only had ordinary brakes. And if we'd had the air brake, probably it would have been slower. Because, you know, if you lift off and you touch the brakes, the thing would come up. And obviously, if you're going up a hill, say 170 or 180 miles an hour, you don't know where it goes. Jenks would give me a sign, oh right, you know, straight ahead, and then he'd tell me it was flat out. And he was like my guide dog, fantastic.
Would you say that's the best car that you've driven in your career?
Oh, certainly, without a doubt. I mean, Mercedes were incredible cars. And I mean, they'd had so much experience. I mean, when you race for Mercedes, in those days, I had a seat made that was exactly right. Obviously now they all do, it's a completely different scene. But Mercedes is an incredible company to race for. Well, I mean, I'm sure if I'd said to them, look, I'd like to try wheels, square wheels, they'd say we tried it in 1929 and it didn't work or something. They had such an enormous amount of information.
Did they? Did I remember Lewis Hamilton had a go in the 300 SLR just recently?
Yes, well, he stood beside it for the picture, and he looked at it. He said, "I wouldn't go with that thing." He said. And here's the most valuable car in the world, you know. I mean, I don't know what it's worth, but it must be worth 30 million odd. And he didn't like the look of it.
No, no, definitely not.
It's not for boys.
No, definitely. Very good, very good. I hope somebody recorded that. That was very good. That'd be a YouTube moment. What do you think of the Classic Motor Show? You're here almost every year now.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, what is so wonderful is to see so many people who are interested in cars that we all race, and obviously bits and pieces you can buy here and so on. I think it's a wonderful show, I really do, and I think to have this many people on a thing like this, I think is quite remarkable. It says an awful lot for, you know, what the sport was, because this is not modern today. This is like yesteryear.
They've come to see you. That's it. They haven't come to see me. They've just come to see you.
Well, I'm very flattered, I must say.
If these people here did want to come and meet you and see you at the show, anywhere, are you on anyone's stand? Are you around?
I have no idea. I go where I'm told. I go from this one to that one. You know, I've got this little scooter that I go on.
But they are. Some people are lucky enough to catch you in between events and get a picture with you.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I mean, I'm not here to buy anything. I can't, you know, it's just to be here because I think it's a great atmosphere and everything. It's a wonderful occasion.
So what's the future for you, Sir Stirling? Because you're a tenacious man. You work tirelessly. You're always working. So what's the future for you?
More work, I hope. I mean,
that's good.
At the end of the work, you die. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
You know, to me, movement is tranquility. So I don't want to kick the bucket yet, and therefore one keeps doing things and travelling around, and you know, for shows and different things like that. I mean, I sell my money. I mean, I'm sort of international prostitute. If you pay me, I'm there. And so I'm available, but it costs. It doesn't come free.
It doesn't come free, no, and it shouldn't do. No, and it certainly shouldn't do with you, sir. It's been, well, just the highlight of my weekends, this. It always is. Last year, I was almost in tears at the end of this, and I feel absolutely honoured, sir, and privileged to have you up here on the Wheeler Dealer Live stage. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. Very, very nice. I can now try and get up. If you hold on to that.
If you don't mind, what I'm just going to do is just stand you there just for a second so people can grab a picture of you. And I'm actually going to grab him backstage for a picture for myself in just a minute and get him to sign a picture for me. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Sir Stirling Moss!